Okay, let us start. My pranams to all Atma Jyotis. There are some questions. How do we realize the self? For realizing self, Sri Ramana Maharshi says, find out who am I? Who are you? I will say, before asking the question, who am I? Ask the question, where am I? Where am I? Is the question. You'll say, oh, I'm here only. It's not where your body is, where your mind is. You have to ask the question. The mind keeps on traveling in time and space. For example, if you think of your son in America, immediately mind is in America, but body is in Bangalore. So mind has left the body and in America in that sense. Of course, one part of the mind is in the body, but it's like a bird. Mind has gone to America. It has covered some 5,000, 8,000 miles in no time. Without ticket, it has gone to America. So if you think of your happy moments, so 10 years back, mind has traveled in time back to that moment. So the mind is a traveler. It travels time and space. Mind also travels from one body to other body. In the waking state, one body. In the dream state, another body. And deep sleep, no body. Mind travels from body to body. Mind travels in time and space. And after death, the mind leaves the body and goes to another body. Catches hold of another body. So where am I? That means which time and space coordinate I am. You have to find out. For example, 10 years back, I was in Bombay. So your mind has gone back in 10 years time, and Bombay, which is actually, let's say, about 700 kilometers from Bangalore. Body is in Bangalore. Mind has already traveled 700 kilometers in space, and mind has traveled 10 years back in time. Time and space, it has traveled. Distance and time it covers. So think of the stars. Immediately mind goes to the stars. It has traveled light years. So the mind is doing journey. The mind is the samsari, the traveler. So first ask the question, where am I? Before you ask the question, who am I? Because the who am I question has to be asked when the mind has come to its home. The home of the mind is body. When you're traveling all over the world, you're not in home. A bird is sitting on a ship, and ship is sailing in the ocean. There's a lot of turbulence in the ocean. The bird is afraid. I have to get out somewhere. The bird flies north, east, west, and south to see a tree. It's not there. Then finally bird gets tired and comes and sits on the sail of the ship. So after some time, the ship reaches the shore. Now the bird is able to find a tree. So ship here is our body. The mind going north, east, west, and south is the mind traveling in time and space, past and present and future. Mind doesn't remain in the present. It goes past and future continuously, going north, south, east, and west like the bird. Finally, it gets tired. The ship is the body. The ocean is the samsara. Always the turbulence is there. So the mind seeking the tree is seeking of happiness. Finally, the ship reaching the ocean, ship reaching the shore, is the mind with the body reaching the destination of pure happiness. So this is an analogy. The mind is like a bird. So first ask a question, where am I? Which part of the world I'm floating, past or future? Have you heard a movie called Ghost Protocol? There's a beautiful movie called Ghost Protocol. You know what is a ghost? Ghost in Sanskrit is called Bhuta. Bhuta means past. So the mind always goes to the past, time and space, and picks up something and projects the future, which is imaginary. It keeps on floating and time and space. Sometimes it's never in its home. So when we call as ghost, typically in in English language, what is a ghost? Ghost is a mind without a body. The body is the host. The mind without a body is called ghost. Ghost protocol is, ghost is searching for happiness in time and space, everywhere. Ghost tries to possess a host called body to get happiness. So ask the question, who am I? Instead, before asking the question, who am I? Where am I? Your question is asked. Then the mind has to come to body. The ghost called mind has to come to the host called body. The ghost has never happiness because ghost is traveling all over without a body. You think the ghost is after death? Ghost is the mind, past, Bhuta. All of us live in dead past. The past, time and space, we keep on living. Or imaginary future we live. That's called ghost. We leave the host body. This body we live and go everywhere. The ghost cannot find happiness until it finds a body, host. That means we have to come back to, mind has to come back to the body. First ask the question, where am I? Then bring the mind to the body. Become aware of the body. So what is body? Body is nothing but present moment of the mind. The mind is past, present, and future. The past, present, and future is mind. So the body is created by the mind. Body appears to experience the life. So the body is always present moment. For example, if I see something, immediately there's a fear arising in me, heartbeat increases, the blood pressure increases, or my breathing increases. The body responds to the present moment. Present moment, whatever present moment experience, real or imaginary, but present moment. Body is always in the present. Body can never be in the past or future. So the mind, the body appears for the mind as a host to experience the present moment. But mind never experiences the present moment. The body never stays in the present moment. Body, it keeps on moving all around in time and space. The mind which is going all around is called ghost. Mind without a body is called ghost. The body is a host. So when you ask the question, where am I? Become aware of the body. The moment you become aware of the body, mind comes to the present moment, because body is the present moment. Body cannot be in the past. So now we'll ask a question. Atma Jnana means understanding. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. Nanu nanembudu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, sachidananda atma shivanan nane, shivoham shivoham. So now, if you say I'm not the body, why should I come back to the body? Because all relations happen through the body, within the body, using the body. Then your body will not be useful. Body is the vehicle. Body is the host for you to realize. It is like somebody has fallen into the river and he has to swim. The swimming has to be done in the ocean, water only. It cannot come to the shore and swim. So similarly, we have fallen into the body, we identify the body, use the body to get out, become free from the body. So mind has to use the body properly in the present moment. So when the mind comes to the present moment, there's a present moment awareness. So for example, just become aware of your sitting posture. How your seat is touching, how your back is resting on the seat, how your hand is moving. Feel the sensation on the body. So now what has happened to you? The mind has come to the present moment. Body is the present moment. So from now, mind can give attention to only one thing. It can give it can be like a ghost wandering around, or it can come to the present moment. It cannot do two simultaneously. It cannot be in America and in the body simultaneously. It's either America or in the body. It cannot be 10 years back or in the body. So body is the home. Come back to the home first before you ask, who am I? So many people try to do who am I without asking where am I. Come back to the present moment totally. Simple way to come back to the present moment is become aware of the body, breath or heartbeat. You come to the present moment. Now, meditation. See, people say, watch the thoughts. It's difficult to watch the thoughts or impossible to watch the thoughts because thoughts will appear and disappear. You don't know when thought will come. So be aware of the energy movement in the body. It can be heartbeat, it can be blood flow, it can be sensation on the body, it can be breath. Because all these movements of the body are in the present moment. So the mind has come to the present moment. So the body is gateway to the self in that sense. Gateway is the door. First you have to enter through the door. Now you are roaming around all over the world. Ask where am I and come back to your home, which is your body. That's always in meditation also we'll start getting drifting in thoughts. Drifting in thought means you have gone in a trip. Time and space. Some other world. Astral world. Some other world. Come back to your home called body. Otherwise you cannot realize yourself. When you start drifting, the drifting always means that we are lost awareness with the body, contact with the body. Mind has left the body and gone into time and space. So come back aware. The moment you are drifting with the thoughts, come back to the moment, present moment awareness. Then in the present moment awareness, whether it's a breath or body sensation or a heartbeat, you see, these are rising and falling. Sensations are rising and falling. Between two sensations, there's a gap. If you're able to observe carefully, there is a sensation gap between the two sensations. There is a gap between two thoughts also. There's a gap between two breaths also. In breath and out breath, there is a gap. Out breath and in breath, there's a gap. There's a gap between the heartbeat. So the gap in this is the crack. See, the crack you have to opening is the opening for yourself. It's a window to yourself. The body is the gateway. The gap in the sensations or thought or feeling or emotions or even breathing is the window to the self. Gateway and window. How it is a window to the self? When you are aware of the body, sensations rising and falling. Rising I call it as presence. Sensations not being there or gap, I call it as absence. Presence and absence. So what you are becoming aware is the presence and absence. So now we think that, oh, I have to observe the gap carefully. I have to observe the gap carefully. The idea is not to make you become aware of the presence and the gap. The idea is to point out to you the awareness which is you in the presence of sensation or absence. In the awareness is there. Awareness is the background in which sensation is present or not present. So become aware that I am aware of gap. I am aware of sensation. So the focus is on I am aware. The I am aware does not change. That I am aware is the Atma. Awareness. So there's a glass here. I know there's a glass here. Glass here is thought. I know. There's nothing here. I know. The I know is common. So your attention should be that I am aware of thoughts rising. I am aware of thoughts falling. But I am aware. I know does not change. That is real I, unchanging I. Everything is changing. So this thought you would hold. The gap in the thought or no gap, what I call presence and absence in Vedantic language is called Anvaya and Vyatireka. How to recognize Atma? Atma is recognized as what is present and what is there in any activity and no activity, any sound or silence, or activity and inactivity, both places the I know is present. That I know is the Atma. In Kannada, I call it as Gottaitappa. Gottaitappa is there. So you have to be aware. I know. I am the awareness, knowing presence and absence. That I know is called Sakshi. The I know doesn't change. So now that I know I am this, I have to hold a thought called I am Sakshi in the mind. Why I have to hold? Because the mind keeps on drifting with taking newer and newer identities. You have heard of the ghost, no? The ghost can take any identity, any shape. So the mind will also take any time, any shape and fly anywhere. Suddenly it will become 10-year-old self and it will go to your old native place. Oh, so much I enjoyed. Suddenly it will go to America. Oh, I want to enjoy America. So it takes the body and flies to some place. So now the mind has to be told, my real nature is I am, which is I know, which doesn't change. This is called Sakshi Bhava. Take the form of Sakshi Bhava. Who takes the form of Sakshi Bhava? Mind only. Because mind is otherwise it will take some other form. But real Sakshi does not undergo, it does not change. It does not observe anything in that sense. The Sakshi, real Sakshi is non-dual. It cannot observe anything. This Sakshi in the form of the mind can observe thoughts coming and going. In the process, you'll start dissociating yourself from the past memories. Past memories called your identity. So now your identity changes to I am Sakshi. You have to hold on to thought called I am Sakshi. That's called Rupa with Savikalpa Samadhi. Everything else is changing. I am the observer of unchanging. Now you can ask a question. How can a thought hold on, thought observe another thought? You're not thought holding on another thought. This is where the mind and Atma is together called Jivatma. Jivatma is observing in the Sakshi Bhava. Jiva cannot observe because Jiva is also a thought. Jivatma is observing. Jivatma is, Atma is always in the background. So that observes the thought rising and falling and absence of thought and understands in absence what I am there and presence what I am there is real I, awareness, which is the background of all. So then you have to remember the nature of Sakshi. So there is a sense of duality, Sakshi and Saksham, seer and seen. Then you have to say Sakshi means Asanga, nothing attaches to me. Sakshi means Sachidan Swarupa. Sakshi means Brahman. So first you become Sakshi Baba, which means Jiva Sakshi. That's called individual Sakshi. I'm observing my mind. Then you realize the Sakshi doesn't observe anything. Sakshi is the illuminating light. It's a Vishwa Sakshi. It's universal consciousness, universal witness. It's an illuminator. So the real I is the light. And what kind of light? Is Atma Jyoti. I am that. What has happened in the process? The mind, small I, constantly associated with memory. The moment you associate memory, it takes identity. The moment it takes identity, it will fly all over the world, in the real world and false world, imaginary world, and it becomes a ghost. Bring the ghost to the host called body, become aware of the body, present moment, then see the window there. Window is the gap. Through the window, become aware of the self, which is the awareness, which is the background of all. This is what I tried to explain yesterday. Any questions on this? Anybody? Yeah, if you have a question, you have to ask. Then I can go to next topic. Unmute, please.
Pranam Gurudeva.
Yes.
Gurudeva, the body is made up of 5 elements and it is limited in a particular space and time. And the mind is also made up of 5 elements, subtle elements, but it cannot be limited to a space and time. What is the difference, Gurudeva? Why it cannot?
Gross is limited to time and space. Subtle is not limited to time and space. No.
But it is not subtlest. It is subtle. There might be some limitation. I mean,
the mind is very fine matter. The body is limited to one place. The mind is not limited to one place. So, for example, let us say think of America. The mind is already in America.
Yeah.
That's all. It's a thought. No, ultimately it is a thought. The time and space is nothing but a thought. The thought is mind.
And the self is, like still finer. We cannot even describe it. So it means to say that, it is the total substratum, which is totally pervading.
No, I say it's simple. No, for any experience, I know. The I know is the background. So the I know is the self. There is a apple. I know. There's no apple. I know. I know doesn't change. No, there is a substratum. I know is self. Self is not so vague. Self is very clear. The knowing principle.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody else any questions? Vatsala Ramu, you have some question? Raise your hand. So Gayatri, Shravan, any question? Anybody has a question?
So, Prabhuji, so in this case, the awareness is always there. It's what we have to remember. But this awareness will have a consciousness or it may not have consciousness. Correct?
No, see the consciousness and awareness we should not confuse. Okay. So that I'll tell as the next question. Right? What is the difference between consciousness and awareness? Okay.
Okay.
So the consciousness and awareness so conscious, is there an echo in what I'm speaking, Shravan?
Not for me, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the consciousness and awareness, you should be clear. Okay. The consciousness is the only reality. Right? There's no two things called awareness and consciousness. So the consciousness, the nature of consciousness, knowing principle, awareness, the essential nature of consciousness, awareness. Right? Which is knowing principle. It's nothing knowing in particular, knowing principle.
Yes.
Okay. The activity of consciousness, the consciousness is activity. The activity of consciousness is called mind. Are we clear?
Okay. Yes.
So when you become, when you are aware of the activity of the mind, okay, there's an awareness of activity.
Yes.
Awareness of activity, correct? When you are not aware, when your attention does not go to the activity, you are not aware of activity. Okay, the consciousness is always present. Consciousness never goes and comes. Whether attention is there or not is the question.
So the pure I am, is it awareness or consciousness?
No. There's no two things called awareness and consciousness. There's only consciousness. This is a language, confusion in the language. You are aware. Awareness is your nature, right? Awareness doesn't change. But you can be aware of something or you can be aware of nothing. In deep sleep, you are aware of nothing. In the waking state, you are aware of something. Correct?
Yes.
Being aware of something is called consciousness. It's not presence and absence of consciousness. Attention has arisen. You become aware of something. Attention has gone back. You are not aware of anything. The awareness remains same.
Okay. So I was using it in a interchange reverse fashion. So then the question is, when we are conscious, when we are conscious of something, we are aware. But when we are not conscious of something, there is no awareness, or awareness is not present.
No.
Is that?
No, that's not correct. Awareness is always there, whether you are conscious of something or not something. Awareness is the background screen. Awareness in Sanskrit is called pranayama. Pranayama Brahma. It's always there. Okay. You can be aware of something if the attention is there, or you cannot be aware of anything if the attention is not there.
So which means both consciousness and awareness are always there.
Consciousness and awareness is always there. Okay.
And if it is there is an action, then the consciousness is aware, is conscious. If there is no action, consciousness is not conscious. And if there is seeing or perception, awareness is there. Awareness is active. Otherwise, awareness is inactive.
So there's some little bit confusion is there in the terminology. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll use the only way. There is awareness only. Okay. It's called absolute Brahman. Awareness of something is there. Right. So that awareness of something we call as consciousness in our common language. For example, somebody is in coma. We say he's not conscious. Because for us, the consciousness means being aware of something.
Okay.
Okay. Awareness is and awareness of. Awareness of we call as consciousness, and awareness is we call as awareness. But actually, awareness is and awareness of both are consciousness only. Knowing principle. Okay.
Okay.
So now, in deep sleep, right? Is there awareness?
It is, but awareness not is, of anything. Yeah.
Awareness is, right?
Mm.
Okay. Awareness is there. In deep sleep, is consciousness there?
Okay. From the earlier definition, it is not, because there's nothing to be conscious of.
No. I said consciousness and awareness are same terms. Awareness of something is called consciousness, normally in English language.
Okay.
Right? Ultimately, the consciousness alone is there. Consciousness, basic nature of consciousness, awareness. You can be aware of something or you can be aware of nothing. When you are aware of nothing, you say awareness. It's called awareness. When you are aware of something, it's called consciousness. But ultimately, it's a consciousness only. Two terminologies.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Mm.
Am I clarifying? Because this is leading to a lot of confusion.
If you
use the word awareness, see, there's no two things. Awareness and consciousness, there are no two things. Only one thing is there. Either you call it consciousness or call it awareness. So awareness is Brahman. Awareness of something is called consciousness in one language. Or if you use the word consciousness, okay, conscious of something or conscious of nothing. Conscious of nothing is called awareness. The awareness or knowing principle is always the background.
Okay, then normally in our language also, say a human is aware, but a stone is unaware.
So
that means that there is no awareness in stone, which
no,
means
we'll come back to that stone being aware. Okay.
Okay.
First definition of consciousness awareness. My definition of consciousness awareness is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in sleep, is there consciousness or no consciousness?
There is consciousness.
It is awareness is.
Awareness
okay.
is, but not of anything. It's not aware of anything.
So, in sleep, consciousness is there, but there is no activity of consciousness. Activity of consciousness is called mind.
Okay.
Okay. So the activity of consciousness called mind is not there in deep sleep. But consciousness itself is not always there. The consciousness itself is called awareness.
Okay. Okay.
Right? The activity of consciousness is called mind.
Okay.
Okay. To give an example, the water, ocean, and wave. Okay. The water is awareness. Okay.
Okay.
The ocean and wave are activity of water. Water doesn't undergo any change, but it works. Its activities are ocean and wave.
Okay.
Right. So, giving analogy, the same water is called consciousness also.
Okay.
Conscious not without any activity is also called awareness in sometimes. Conscious with the activity is called mind.
Okay.
Mental activity. Activity of consciousness is called mind. Activity of water is wave. In that sense.
So, but in wave and ocean, we know wave is not wave. Water and ocean. Sorry, there is a lot of echo for me, Prabhuji, talking.
Your echo or my ego? My ego.
Okay, I have echo. I can hear echo. Oh, now it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
So let us look at some basic. What is basic between water and ocean? Water is the basic, and ocean is an appearance of water, isn't it?
Correct.
But water and ocean are always there.
Right.
Correct. Now, if water and ocean have to be equated to awareness and consciousness, what do you equate water to? What do you equate ocean to?
The water, the essential nature is awareness. Water, the knowing principle. Okay. So the consciousness or awareness, when there's nothing, there's no manifestation, it's called awareness, pure awareness. It's called what we call as pranayama.
So when in this, so what you're saying is water is pranayama.
Water is pranayama.
Water is pranayama, and ocean, being an ocean, is water being an ocean with
water
no
appearing
activity,
as ocean.
Still is what?
What is appearing as pranayama is Parabrahma.
Okay.
Supreme reality. Okay. Water appearing as ocean is manifest reality, is the Ishvara. Saguna Brahma. And
then what is the nature of consciousness of Saguna Brahma? It is fully active.
The Saguna Brahma.
What is the difference between awareness or consciousness between Parabrahma and Saguna Brahma? That first, let's, in terms of terminology.
Yeah, in terms of Parabrahma, there is no other, nothing to be aware of anything. No manifestation, no appearance. It's a pure light, pure awareness, Atma Jyoti. When it manifests, in the manifestation, there's a time and space. the form is there. The form is Saguna Brahma.
Yes, that is from the thing. But from the terminology of consciousness or awareness, how do you use this?
So
That's conscious of or conscious, no consciousness kind of thing.
No. The consciousness of and no consciousness, we want to use in a different connotation. Our language is a problem. That I'll tell you, language problem. Okay. So we can say the consciousness alone is there. I mean, I'll use a simpler word. Consciousness alone is there, whose basic nature is awareness. The consciousness as an activity. Okay. The activity of consciousness is the mind and the world. Okay. The activity of consciousness which goes on in the form of mind and the world.
Okay.
But the essential nature of consciousness doesn't change, which is called awareness. Knowing principle.
Okay.
Activities will change. Okay.
Yeah.
So now when you say that person is in coma, he is not conscious of something, right?
Yes.
Understand? So that when you say he is not conscious of something, it is not about consciousness, presence and absence of consciousness. It's a presence and absence of conscious activity, which is the mind.
Yes.
Right? So conscious activity is not there, but consciousness is not there. The consciousness is there, it's called awareness. So see, this English language is confused. Okay, altered state of consciousness is called coma. These are all confusion. Basically, yes. Consciousness alone is there. The conscious activity is called mind. Conscious absence of activity is called awareness.
Yes. See, the reason we come to this is present movement is equivalent to the state where consciousness is there and awareness is there, and there is no activity for our movement. We are coming to that.
Before you come to that, I'll answer your earlier question. Okay.
Okay.
When you say the person, you can be conscious of something, and you can conscious of some. You can be conscious of something, and you can be not conscious of something. That's what you said. No.
Yes.
Right. That terminology, we have to understand it a little bit more clearly. Okay. So right now there's a glass here. Am I aware of the glass in your English language?
Yes.
Right. So that here there's a conscious activity is happening. My attention is going here. I'm recognizing the object as a name and form that you call as consciousness or awareness. Okay. So here, when you speak of I'm aware of this object, you're actually speaking of the conscious activity of consciousness. This is mind.
Yes, in a verb sense. But consciousness, when used in a noun sense, what we are saying is it is irrespective of whether it is active or inactive.
Consciousness is always there all the time, right? Correct. So you said you can be conscious of something, you can be unconscious of that. Consciousness doesn't change. Being conscious of something is called paying attention.
Yes.
That's a mental activity.
That's
correct.
the reason.
Okay.
Connect to anyone.
That is a conscious activity we are calling with by name awareness. Presence of awareness and absence of awareness. It's not about presence and awareness. It's presence and absence of conscious activity. That we are in English language, we are mixing up with awareness.
Prabhuji, does it help to use pure consciousness and consciousness so that it will be easier to understand? Pure conscious being.
No, I'm saying, see, this is where in spiritual literature is full of confusion. That's what I'm trying to clarify. Right? I cannot change the entire world. No, I can only clarify what is there.
Okay.
Spiritual language is full of confusion. English language is full of confusion. So, Shravan Kumar, can you unmute?
Yes.
So, Shravan Kumar, when I say use the word, I'm aware of something, I'm not aware of something, right?
Yes.
So, that aware of something, aware, not aware of something is the activity of the consciousness. It's called mind.
Correct.
Okay. So, when I am aware of something, there's a knowledge. When I'm not aware of something, there's still knowledge of absence. The awareness doesn't change.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the English language and our spiritual teachings are getting confused. Spiritual teaching is solve confusion.
Okay.
Okay. So awareness doesn't change, but activity of awareness or consciousness changes, which is called mind. Is this clarified?
Yes. So when you say there is knowledge is still there, knowing is not there at that moment, but
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. No, knowing nothing is there.
How is that? When you are knowing something is there, you are always knowing something, no?
See, a person is in a coma. Okay. Understand? The person is in coma. Okay. Then he knows nothing. Knows nothing is there. Knowing is there. That is awareness. But he knows nothing now.
Okay. In coma, yes. Yeah.
Right. In deep sleep, okay, the knowing principle is there. Awareness is there. But awareness knows nothing.
Knows nothing. Yes.
Okay. So there's no point of time there is awareness or no awareness, that doesn't apply at all.
Okay.
Activity of awareness is there or not, we can ask a question. That's activity of awareness is called mind.
Okay. Okay. This
so
is
now,
clear.
When you say stone is not aware, right? The stone is also consciousness.
Yes.
Whole universe is nothing but consciousness. Okay. The consciousness activity appears in jivas, like individuals like us. Activity of consciousness. In stone, the activity of consciousness is not visible. Because activity of consciousness will take place, the matter has to be fine matter. It's called mind. So the awareness reflected in the mind creates the activity. Chidavasa. So awareness in the mind, in the stone, the mind may be in very rudimentary form. There's no activity possible, mental activity possible.
Okay.
So
but
awareness.
Technically, even the stone has mind which is not functional.
No, I won't say it's not functional. It will be in a very rudimentary mind. The stones also grow. Stones also, what are you? Nothing but a matter taking a form of Shravan Kumar, living being after the period, over a period of millions of years.
Okay. Okay. So mind is in rudimentary fashion, so it is.
Technically, it's not there, but practically it's there in some way.
Okay.
So we cannot see any mental consciousness activity. That's why we call it inert.
Okay.
But consciousness is there everywhere.
Okay.
Okay. Understand? So now, see, it is said that God sleeps in stones. Understand? God starts dreaming in plants. God starts moving in animals. God starts knowing in human beings. And God starts realizing himself in enlightened beings. The pure awareness or consciousness itself is appearing as a stone, plant, animal, everything in the world. There's no duality. But the manifestation of activity is different in different level.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, there is some question on the chat box. The question is, what is the difference between consciousness and awareness? So the Gayatri, the question is, what is the difference between consciousness and awareness? I already told, right? There's only one reality. You call it as consciousness or awareness. The consciousness as an activity called mind. The consciousness as basic nature called awareness. When there is nothing, no activity, it's called awareness. When there's activity, it's called mind. Or you take it as awareness is the basic principle of life. Awareness is the basic nature. Awareness of something is called consciousness. So one terminology used in two different connotations. Is that clear? Gayatri, you have to answer. Otherwise, I don't know whether you are listening or not.
But in your Nanu Navanimbudu, when you translate it English, you are saying I am pure consciousness.
Pure consciousness and awareness means same thing. Where pure consciousness means no conscious activity.
Okay.
Right? See, we use the term pure consciousness, pure existence, all those things. Pure consciousness, pure existence, all refer to Parabrahma or Pradnana, awareness. Consciousness is the activity of consciousness called mind. When consciousness, the consciousness has an activity called mind and identifies with it, it becomes jiva. So is there any follow-up question, Gayatri? Okay. So Shravan, you can go to next question.
Yes. So now, being in the present moment, what is the state of the consciousness at that point of time?
Okay.
Being in the present moment.
Okay. So Vedanta, there are two analogies are given, which are often confusing to us. Okay. One is rope and snake analogy, and other is water and wave analogy, right? There are two different analogies. We should not confuse them. Rope is the reality, snake is the appearance. Appearance is mithya, unreal. Right? So the world in the form of name and form is unreal. But world in the form of Brahman is real. The world in the form of consciousness is real. So the world in the form of consciousness is real. That's why we give the analogy of wave and ocean, wave and water. So for example, when we deal with a person, right? I deal with Shravan as a person, independent of consciousness. In fact, I am dealing with the mind of Shravan and body of Shravan, an object. In that sense, I am dealing with a mithya, unreal, because there's a constantly changing reality. But what I am dealing is really consciousness, which is background. Can Shravan exist without this background? The small ego, I, cannot exist without big I, awareness. The movie cannot exist without screen. If you take the movie and the screen together, that's the water wave analogy.
Yes. Yes.
So the rope and snake analogy is given to the person who is in ignorance, because he thinks all objects are real. My dear, objects are not real. There is a background called Brahman or consciousness, which is the reality. To tell that, rope and snake analogy is given. Find out the rope. Snake is the mithya, unreal. Now, once you find the rope, means once you find the consciousness or Brahman, then what happens to the snake?
Yes, at that time the snake is known as unreal or appearance.
The snake is nothing but rope only.
Yeah.
So when you know the essential nature of consciousness is awareness, then entire world is nothing but awareness only, Brahman only.
Yes.
So now what has gone is not, appearance is not gone. The duality has gone.
Yes.
The duality of splitting something into conscious and unconscious has gone. Matter and conscious duality is gone. I am subject, this the object is gone. The variety will continue to be there. But duality is not there.
Yes.
And the variety, you call it as Brahman only. You're not calling it a world again anymore.
Yes. So in our point of view right now, with this background, if you say the present moment is there, can we say the present moment is the presence only?
Okay. So your question is, necklace is there. Is necklace gold only?
Yeah. Is that gold only? In a way it is, yes.
Necklace is gold only.
Yes.
Everything in the universe, including a stone, is Brahman only, which means consciousness only or awareness only. Can it be anything else?
No.
So if your question is in the present moment awareness, is it presence only? Is presence only? But why we are asking to come to present moment is the question, right? So the mind keeps on drifting, leaving the base called body living the present moment, it goes on drifting into past and future, which are nothing but memory based.
Yes.
So the present moment is just now what's happening. I am there, the world is there. This is actually the appearance of present moment. It's not a memory. At this moment, Shravan Kumar, this moment is, this instant is completely different from what has happened in the past. This moment is fresh and new. Understand? Every moment is fresh and new. Appearance. But I'll evaluate every moment based on my past memory. So that's what we are trying to avoid. The present moment we are accepting. Whatever is happening is this. Whatever is happening is this moment is real.
Yes.
Right? So that is also means of acceptance or surrender. What is happening in this moment is real. If you evaluate based on the past, it is unreal. Because past is whatever I say is a snapshot of something happened. Okay. So when you understand that, what is the question?
So the question now is, when the mind is in the present moment, it is aware completely of the body. It is already in the presence, which means
yes.
Then there is the mind and the body together being one is all that is the goal.
Is all the?
Is all that is the goal.
All that is the?
That is the goal.
That's the
Can
goal.
we say that? Or from there, mind and body are not there, or there is something beyond body and mind. Is that the goal? Which is the goal?
See, this
from what
concept
you
of
said just now, only the first step is enough.
Oh, no. See, okay. Awareness, Atma, right? Right? Atma, when it's most evident in your three states of consciousness, presence of Atma.
In the waking state.
No. Presence of Atma, its true nature is fully evident in deep sleep.
Evident, okay.
Right? Because deep sleep, you exist, Sat, you are aware, Chit, and Ananda is there, bliss, Satchidananda Swarup is there, and there's no other, Advaita. So, the presence of Atma is fully evident maximally when there's no conscious activity called mind.
But then evident to whom?
Okay, let us ask this question.
Not to the waker, correct?
No. Let us ask this question. Wait. Come to that. Evident to whom I'll tell you. Okay. So presence of Atma is fully manifest or evident in the deep sleep where there's no conscious activity. When there's a conscious activity, when the waker comes up, there's a problem. Right? The waker identifies with the body and experiences happiness and unhappiness. Is that clear?
Yes.
The conscious activity causes the problem.
Yes.
Okay. In the absence of conscious activity, there's no problem. Now, there's nobody seeking.
Yes.
So now, the one who is seeking is, who is the seeker in the waking state?
Who is the seeker in the waiting? The mind, obviously.
The mind is not the seeker.
Who is the seeker then?
Say, when you say mind is the seeker, okay, you are separating the mind from the consciousness.
Okay, so it's a consciousness through the mind, which is the seeker.
Seeker, right? See, if the mind is seeker, then you are speaking of a mithya snake. You are removing it from the rope and saying snake is there.
Correct.
So the mind is not the seeker. The Atma with the mind is the seeker.
Correct.
Are you clear?
Yes.
The mind has no basis actually. The necklace has no existence without the gold. Necklace cannot seek anything.
Okay.
So who is the seeker now? Atma is the seeker. Because mind is getting superimposed on Atma. The Atma has appeared in the form of mind. So who is the seeker now?
The the true seeker is Atma, but this seeking can only happen with mind.
Yeah. So conscious activity of mind is used by the Atma to seek.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the seeker enjoys happiness through objects of the world. He eats apple, right? So when you eat apple, okay, apple is also consciousness only, no? Apple also manifestation of consciousness only, no?
Correct.
Huh?
Yes.
So the experience is happening. The experiencer and experienced both are apparently different. In reality, one essence appearing as two. Okay. So then this seeker is constantly seeking happiness through objects of the world. Because in seeking, he has forgotten his known nature. Now, who is seeking here? Atma through the mind. Mind is not seeking. Mind cannot exist. That's why mind is mithya.
Okay.
A movie cannot be there without screen. No. So when I say movie, you're already referring to screen also by definition.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, Atma, with the help of the mind, is seeking, and Atma is constantly referring to memory to define its identity.
Correct.
So now the teaching is given to the Atma through the mind.
Yes. So, yeah, now Atma through the mind is aware of the body, and that's called present moment. Can we say that?
Atma with the mind will keep on wandering. Atma is all pervading, it doesn't wander, but theoretically screen is everywhere. So the mind is wandering, it appears that we are going everywhere. The mind alone is not going. The Atma, the consciousness reflected in the mind is always there. Chidabhasa is always there, anywhere. Right?
Yes.
So now Atma appears to be wandering. Atma is not wandering anyway, but everything is superimposed on Atma.
Yes.
But if you talk without Atma, anything, it is meaningless. With Atma, you have to refer anything.
Okay.
Right? So now let us take the case of mind coming to the present moment.
Yes.
So then Atma is seeing, hearing, or touching through the mind, the body. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Is mind different from Atma? Is body different from Atma? So in that sense,
in which sense different?
See,
from
water alone is appearing as a wave and ocean, right?
Correct.
So wave is different from water, is a notion, not reality, concept.
Okay.
Right? So in that sense, if Atma, if you take as a individual, then it's experiencing through body and mind. If Atma takes as universal, it's like water. There's no experience anyway. By notionally making name and form, we are saying subject-object duality are bringing in.
Correct.
Correct? The subject-object duality is purely in the naming, not in the reality.
Correct.
Correct, no? So now I have come to the present moment. Right? The mind, the present moment, the past, present, and future, we have come to present moment. What is the advantage of coming to present moment? In the present moment, the body, mind, and the self, body, mind, and spirit, they are one.
Yes.
Correct? When you go to the past, the body and self and the body are the present, mind is somewhere. There's a split.
Yes.
So the complete integration happens in the present moment. That's called yoga. In yoga, we feel more holistic compared to a split mind going somewhere. There's more peace and relaxation when the body, mind, and intellect are in the one place. That's why people do yoga.
Okay.
Correct. So now, is that the end? No. So the body, mind is the presence or activity of the consciousness. Right?
Yes.
And you have become one with the activity of consciousness. That's also fine. There's no duality now. I and the activity, they're not separated. I am one with the activity.
Mm.
But I have not realized my own true nature, which is without activity also.
Mm.
So that's where I have to observe the gap. In the gap, there's no knowledge.
Mm.
Okay, when there's no knowledge, it's not that no awareness is there, but no thought of knowing what I call knowledge is a recognition of something is there or recognition of nothing is there. It's not there. Mental activity is not there. So I am the presence in both mental activity or no mental activity, and I am the one who takes the mental form or no mental form. I am the one who takes the world, who takes the form of the world. I am the one who takes the form of no world.
Wait, I hear a little bit slower. So, Atma is the mind, Atma is the body, but
Atma appears as mind, Atma appears as the body.
Appears as mind, appears as body, but the advantage of being in the present moment is Atma as body and mind is integrated, and therefore now in a position to understand the nature of inquiry to the nature of Atma by the mind is what we are saying, correct?
No,
in the present moment.
When Atma appears as body, mind, and the world, right?
And
so
the
now,
body, yeah.
Body, mind, and the world is a totality. Atma appears as a totality.
Correct.
The suffering is we are separating from the totality. I am separate from the totality. I am identifying part of the totality. I am suffering.
Yes.
So when the body, mind, and the world together they are integrated, that's it. Momentary silence or peace. Momentary. That's called yoga. Because there's no split now.
But when we said in the present moment, we did not want to focus on the world. We said that mind should focus only on the body.
No. That is actually first level. I said for meditation, you have to focus on the body. If the mind focuses on the world also, that's called karma yoga. Activity.
Okay.
The activity is what connects you with the world. So the body, mind, activity, everything being one is called karma yoga.
Okay. Okay. So karma yoga is only to know that the body is part of the world and one with the world.
No, everything is one. Body, world, it's Advaita. Body, mind, and the world is one reality.
That's in the Advaita level. But
no.
Yes.
Even in the world also, Advaita is the same Advaita level. Karma yoga is Advaita only. See, yoga is also Advaita only. You are saying body, mind, and the world, right? Is nothing but same Brahman appearing as body, mind, and the world, no?
Yes.
So the activity is also Brahman only appearing as activity, no?
Correct. But right now, our yesterday's question and the main question here is coming to the present moment now as a as an Atma with the through the mind, I am focused on the body, then I am complete in some sense. Now, this completed me wants to know the nature of I, right?
Correct. So you know the nature of I.
Now,
in the absence of activity and in the presence of activity also, I is not split. That's what you are trying to understand.
Correct.
Aham brahmasmi, sarvam khalu brahma. Both have to happen.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. So now in this case, since I am aware of the mind and the body, now I know that when the mind is not there or mind is silent, the body is also silent. I do not know the body without the mind. Correct? But yes, let's say yesterday we said we will observe the heartbeat, and when I am observing the heartbeat or sensation of the body through the mind, I know myself as integrated. But when I am not observing also, I am there. So that is the point we want
You
to
are not, you are not, it's not that you are not observing. There's nothing to observe in the gap.
when there not when there is nothing to observe also, I am there. That has to be established.
You're
That
right.
is the whole point, right?
You're right.
Now, for that, the question that was is how from that point, which is the present moment, sensational present moment, to the pure presence, how do we go? That is the point of all this discussion, correct?
Can you repeat again?
From the present moment where I am integrated as a body, mind, and observing my sensations and knowing that I am Atma all through, to when the sensations are not there, or there's an absence of these sensations or mind activity, I am still there. To that confirmation, I have to go, right? So we said that is the presence.
And the presence appears as everything in the world. After that, you come back to the world.
But that is from a knowledge perspective. Theoretically, I understand that. Yesterday's activity was to practically confirm it. Correct? Right. So how my question is, from the present moment, how do we confirm the presence?
Confirm the presence is by knowing I am the one who is present and absent in both Anvaya and Vyatireka. I am not the one who is identifying with the limited presence called body. The problem is identifying the limited presence. If I identify the total presence, there's no problem. A total world, no problem. If I identify the pure awareness, which is nothing of the world, that's also no problem. But only thing is I'm identifying the part, no, somewhere. That's the problem, no? That's what duality is, no? So first, I learn how to not identify anything. I am there in presence and absence. That's why I am nobody, nothing.
Okay.
Right? That's called Sakshi or Atma. Then I am there in everything and everywhere. That's called Brahman. The whole problem is splitting the totality into small part and identifying that small part. That only is being removed in Vedanta. You do an inner journey to understand you are there in the presence and body and mind, in the absence of body and mind. That's why you are not affected by anything. That's called Sakshi or Atma.
Okay. So the idea is to know the I aspect is there all the time. And to know the I aspect is there all the time, we see I with activity, I with no activity. Correct. And then say that I is there both in with activity and without activity.
Correct.
That is right. The process.
With the activity, without activity, and I is the activity. That is the once then you don't.
I only is becoming the activity.
I only is becoming the activity. That's called Sarvam Khalu Brahma. All this is Brahman.
Okay, this is clear.
There's no splitting up. The whole problem is splitting up the totality into me and the other. Once the me and other is gone, either I am there when nothing is there, or I am there in everything also. That's also a problem. But I am somebody, something is a problem.
I am part is the problem.
I am part is the problem.
Okay. So the I am whole, I am is the only thing that is there, should be maintained both in activity, no activity, and I am only there in all activity. There's no other activity other than I. Is the lesson.
Correct. That's right.
Okay, clear.
Right. So that's actually Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khalu the Brahma. Only problem which is removed is I'm the body. That's all. I'm
Yes,
the total.
clear.
Right? Yes, Narsimurthy, you want to ask something?
Harivom, Sashtanga Namaskara, Prabhuji.
Namaskara.
Prabhuji, being in the present, as per my understanding, is that Antakarana becoming one with Sakshi or Atman. Meaning, when I watch a particular tree, in the background of my mind, there is nothing. I'll see a leaf as leaf, and that leaf meaning will not run in my mind.
Correct. Naming is not there.
Basically, it is pure attention.
Correct. That's right.
Attention meaning simplex. In technical communication perspective terms, I call it a simplex communication. It will just come inside, and inside my mind, Antakarana, the four Chatush Antakaranas, there is no processing. It will just act as secondary Sakshi.
Correct. It is a silent.
Yes.
So there's no split happening.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a child observes the world. There's no thought process.
Exactly. Yeah. To be precise, seer is seen.
Seer is seen.
Heard.
There's no separation. There's no boundary.
Yes, exactly.
So that boundaryless experience is called experience without no name, no
interpretation, no meaning expansion inside them. Right. Is that understanding correct, Prabhuji?
Correct only.
Okay, thank you.
Correct only. But that won't happen if your mind is in the past or future.
Yes.
That's the naming happens.
Basically, thoughts. If there are thoughts behind the mind, those thoughts are eliminated by Sakshi. Then these parallel thoughts will go on, and there will be certainly conflict. So I cannot see the reality as per se.
You're right.
Prabhuji, I am practicing a particular way to have the Vedanta, Advaita alive throughout my awakened state. Is that as soon as I get up. As soon as I get up, I'll make sure that one continuous thought run throughout the day. That thought is the replica of Sakshi. This thought observes all other secondary thoughts. I think in computer terms, I can easily relate it. Correct. Thread. Or in Unix operating system per se, if I take, the init process is the init process, which is Sakshi.
That's right.
It is a voluntary thought that I created myself, and I'll make sure that this thought will go on throughout the day until I get into sleep. And this thought observes all the, if I have to do some action is also routed through the thought. So that thought, whatever action or voluntary or involuntary thoughts, both, this just observes as a Sakshi, which
it's called Sakshi Bhava.
Sakshi Bhava, exactly. I am using this Sakshi Bhava to overcome I had a lot of emotion problems, and I was able to finding it very difficult to manage my mind. Correct. With this, I was able to the greater extent I can have the Advaita running in my awakened state throughout the day. Correct.
That gradually the thought also will go. It will become natural.
Yes. I observe certain state, especially in the Nididhyasana, meditation state. I used to find it very difficult. Nowadays, I can very easily can get into that silent state. I mean, getting absorbed by the real Sakshi.
Right. So basically, as long as you are able to live without a division created by thought, you are fine.
Yes, Prabhuji. I can now appreciate, because I suffered a lot because of the
division.
The mental, the thought, conflicting thoughts which were running throughout the day.
Right.
So the other thing, if time permits, I have one more question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll ask next time.
No, ask.
what I was saying is before and after. I am saying I was doing my retrospective or postmortem. Before and after, if I look at it, before coming to Vedanta, before attending your discourses, and before reading Vedanta texts, what used to happen was thoughts used to run around my antahkarana. Thoughts were, there were many eyes. In a day, there were many small eyes, not capital.
Right, that's true.
These eyes were revolving around antahkarana, meaning ego, then
No, got it. Correct.
Intellect. Intellect thought is there. That thought is also the pops up and says something, and ego second pops up and says something.
Right.
And previously suffered thoughts, I mean sufferings, they will pop up and they'll say something.
That's right.
Advaita, I mean to the tiniest drop of Advaita that I could grasp. With that, what I can see is antahkarana always revolves around the self.
Correct. Ego.
Antahkarana. I am saying ego, all of them. I mean,
right. Atma.
So is my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
Correct only. Atma is always the background. Yeah,
Atma is the center. I mean, if I put it in a form of a wheel, axle, I mean, center part of the wheel is Atman, and what is that? Spokes.
Yeah.
Are antahkarana.
Correct. That's right.
If these are balanced, only then wheel moves easily.
Correct.
I mean, if this moves around the Atman, I mean, Sakshi.
Right. That's right.
So I have zero conflicting thoughts. It is near zero. I cannot say zero. Near zero conflicting thoughts, which is actually helping. Is my observation correct, Prabhuji?
Exactly. Correct. That's right. That's how it is. Simple. So Shravan, aligning the body, mind, and the world before Jnana is called yoga. After Jnana, there's no separation. It's a natural yoga or Sahaja Samadhi.
Okay.
Right.
So it is for getting this Jnana, we have to observe the activity with I and the I without the activity.
Correct. So the I is, so you have to say I is independent of activity first.
Okay.
So then I is there in all activity. Presence and absence also is there. It's not just in the presence only. That's what it is.
Okay.
Right. We are identifying only the small part of the presence, small part of the activity. So it's the activity, identify the totality, then you are fine.
Okay. So yesterday we said that I with the activity is the immanence, and being the I is the transcendence then.
Correct. Just being I without activity is called transcendence.
Transcendence. Okay.
Right.
Clear.
So anybody else any questions? Can you close for the day? Huh? Sir? Go on. YouTube. YouTube answer करता है. So in YouTube there's one question. There are two questions. Awareness doesn't observe. Then who the question? So awareness doesn't observe. So in what way is called awareness? See, the awareness English word is an observer. Okay. The awareness in its purest form, there's nothing to observe. It's non-dual. The question in the YouTube is, if awareness doesn't observe, who is the observer? What is this? Why is it called awareness? Awareness is the observer. Okay. But awareness in its pure form, there's no subject object. There's no duality. In that duality, there's nothing to observe. When there is a duality comes into picture, subject and object, there's an activity of awareness. It's called consciousness or mind. That time you say it's observer. Otherwise, in the pure awareness, there is nothing to observe. The knower, known knowledge, everything is become one non-dual reality. Does that answer your question? Somebody, one person asked in YouTube. In non-dual reality, like in deep sleep, there's nothing to observe. There's non-dual. In the waking state, there's something to observe. The who takes the position of the observer? The consciousness or awareness only takes the position of observer. But observation is possible when there's an activity of the mind and sense organs. Otherwise, observer remains in its own nature. Pure awareness, which is non-dual. Okay, we'll close for the day. Hari Om.
Gurudeva, can I ask one question here?
Yeah, ask.
Yeah, Gurudeva, how do we enter the deep sleep state?
How do we enter the deep sleep state?
Yeah.
So deep sleep state, understanding the deep sleep state, I'll take it in the Mandukya Karika in the days to come. But to understand very specifically what deep sleep state is, how do we enter?
Okay, Gurudeva.
Right,
Yeah.
Mandukya Karika, next couple of classes will be in deep sleep state.
Okay. Now that we are in the dream state, I mean, can I just ask, this was one of the questions for me, that is the dream state gradually entering into the deep sleep state, or is it, not like...
Both waking and dream are appearance in deep sleep state.
Okay, yeah.
Deep sleep is the background. Waking and dream appear in there and disappear there.
Okay. And the first question we will address in Mandukya Karika.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, Gurudeva. Thank you, Gurudeva.
Shall we close for the day?
Yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.